occupation and what do you do after the occupation. Part of the reason why Kira is such a great character too. But yeah,
Just in the
amazing
final moments
episode.
too, like, well, I think we're at I think there's a delay between us. Maybe I need to reset something. My bad.
I can tell my
Uh,
internet's not as optimal right now, so hopefully it's not interrupting the stream too much. But yeah,
uh, we'll
not a whole
figure
lot
it
I can
out.
do
We're
with that right
adults.
now. Yeah.
Uh, but that last moment in this episode I'm blanking on the character's name, but when Mr. Yulin's character passes away,
Oh,
and Kira
Maritza.
Yeah, it's
Maritza, that's it.
Aim and Maritza.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Aemon Maritza. When good old Aemon Maritza gets stabbed to death because he's a Cardassian, it doesn't matter. And Kira has that moment of, no, it does matter. He was a good like that's really powerful stuff,
Well, I
man.
mean, yeah, and it's in contrast to the episode at the beginning where she
Mhm.
makes the bold declaration that he's a Cardassian, they are all guilty. And
Yep.
it shows how far she's come just encountering this one guy and encountering the shit he's gone through. Yes, he didn't have it as bad as the Bajorans on the camp, but he is not happy with what happened. Let's just put it that way.
Yep.
It fleshed out her character, and it was a great episode. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, R.I.P. Harrison, man.
Yes. Yes. So Harris Hulin's not the only thing we gotta talk about the death of. Because right now we are dealing with the I guess streaming death of Star Trek Prodigy, which
Also R.I.P.
Yeah. So
R.I.P.
I will be honest, this is a series I slept on for a while. It was a series I wanted to dive into, but I kind of slept on it. And then Evan, because Ashley and I were watching and bonding over lots of Star Trek. By the way, I love bonding over Star Trek. It's amazing. It's awesome. But Evan's like, is there Star Trek I would like? And I was like, maybe I can think of some episodes. I tried to think of episodes. I showed him the video game addiction one in TNG, which is always fun.
Yeah.
But I was like,
personal favorite when I was a kid.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I was like, what would he like? And also I was like, wait, there's that Prodigy show. That's supposed to be like more kid driven. Maybe he would enjoy that, and that would give me an excuse to watch it. So I started watching it with him, and he really likes it. In fact, he says this is the only good Star Trek show. But
he's wrong.
Yeah, he is wrong on that one. But this is a good Star Trek show, and I like that. Like just sharing it with him gave me an excuse to watch it because I thoroughly enjoy it. Lindsay, I don't think you had much experience with Prodigy before this. What are your thoughts?
I was the same as you. I knew it existed, and I was interested because I love
Star
Janeway.
Trek, yeah.
I love Voyager,
Yeah.
and it is Star Trek, correct? So I had been wanting to check it out, but I just life things, stuff. Like you can only watch so much Star Trek in one day, and I need to rewatch DS9 once a month. So I only have so much.
It's very important.
But I'm really I literally wouldn't. I don't know if I would have ever watched this show if we weren't doing this show to talk about it. And I'm really glad we're doing this show to talk about because I quite like this. It was a good. We've only seen season 1. We'll do another episode on season 2, but I've really enjoyed season 2. Season 1.
Oh, I mean, the big reason to talk about it is, so like the series was canceled by Paramount. And then and they had already greenlit season 2, and then the season 1 came out, and then they said, we're not going to post anymore. So they ripped it off the service. And then Netflix, after a plane flew over Netflix, and there's a letter writing campaign saying resurrect Prodigy. So they bought up the series, and they put it on their service, and then they finally released season 2. And then there's been kind of a campaign to get them to produce season 3. And then they announced they are taking it off their service. And right now, Prodigy's not going to have a home. Today, literally the day this is being streamed. So if you stream this 24 hours later, it's gone. Netflix is taking season 1 of Prodigy off the stream service today.
Yes.
And then season 2 will be there till I think the end of the year. So we'll probably talk about season 2 around then.
Kind of an annoying way. Like, I guess it works for us, but that's kind of an annoying way to do it. Because imagine you look up and you're like, I gotta check out Star Trek Prodigy, and then only the second season's there.
Available streaming anywhere. Yes.
That's wild.
Wait. Yeah, that's okay, sure, staggered release schedule. I understand that, but staggered deletion? What's the? I mean, there has to be a contract, right?
Yes.
There's a contract. Some contract for season 1 and then a separate one for season 2.
Yeah, like
That's the
probably
only thing that
they
makes
have to leave it
sense.
up for like a year, and let Netflix is going to leave it up. And the reason why stuff gets taken down, because logically it'd be like, well, you already own the rights to the show. What's the issue of just posting it up there? Leaving it up there, collect some revenue. And the issue is they don't want to deal with paying off residuals to actors and crew and shit like that. That is simply it. So they're taking it down, presumably because it's not getting watched enough, which is like people watch it. Well, actually, I think it's actually convenient because I actually put together a little clip of Kate Mulgrew talking about this series. So let's go ahead and dive into that. And if my camera goes off, it is because I'm trying to preserve the internet connection. So bear with me.
Seasons they've never seen.
Which it was a year ago.
Yeah.
With all due respect. So why was it canceled?
Right.
Why?
I'm
asking you.
Why, Nick? Why?
Who do we talk to?
You look authoritative.
Yeah.
Your shirt matches the chair.
Commander.
Why?
You're the guy.
He's wearing with the pip.
And I think by having a fantastic season 2, it makes the idea of season 3 all the much more better possibility.
We're hoping very much for season 3. And I would say very directly, why shouldn't there be? It's the best animated series, really, on TV. I was shocked when it was canceled. I thought, what are you guys thinking about? Right? And then Netflix picked it up because a little plane went over Netflix with a little streamer saying, don't be Egypts here. Pick it up, right? And they did. So they've written in classic cartoon characters. It's such a motley crew, right? They're on this otherwise defunct ship, the Protostar, which Hologram Janeway has helped them reignite. Ryan Dahl is doing his best to captain it. But through them, we learn what it is to become a Starfleet cadet. What it is to learn, understand, appreciate, and respect the Prime Directive in essence and in action. And I see these little girls and boys sitting next to their mother, and that mother arguably sitting next to her mother. So it's transgenerational. And in this way, I think it surpasses almost any other kind of message there is in animated television. I love Prodigy. Yes.
So do we. I think that's all we've spoken about for the last 4 weeks.
Well, let's get a season 3.
Oh,
do you know what I mean?
Yes. We have been hoping and praying.
So I think if I could go, I would see more of that struggle. I lost my fiancé. I lost my dog. I lost my parents. I lost Earth. 75,000 light years away, right? And I've got a complement of 165 lost in the Delta Quadrant. So I think to really shine the light on what that must have felt like a little more intensely would have been very exciting. And we can do it in Prodigy. We can do it in a different way, you know? Now there are all kinds of dimensions that we can investigate. And I want that to happen. I want it to happen. I love doing this show. I love this cartoon. These guys are geniuses, Kevin and Dan Hagen.
Yeah.
You know, can't you see it?
Absolutely. And they're lovely guys as well, which really just makes it all the much better.
So lovely, so decent, so much fun. And I just, you know, it would be a heartbreak to see this end. And it's, you know, the fans adore it. You know what they did? They flew a little plane over Los Angeles.
They did.
Saying, bring back Prodigy, and Netflix bought it. So let's hope Netflix has, I think, the prescience and the vision to option it again.
Yep.
All right. I'm not sure how much of that you're able to catch, Lindsay, because I know the internet was choppy when I first started playing it. It streamlined out as it went on, though. Let me get the camera back on. There we go. Hey, we're still here.
Hey, that was amazing. I love Kate Mulgrew.
Dude, yeah, she's amazing. Yeah.
So passionate. Yeah, that was a treat, actually.
Yeah, she genuinely loves this series, and that's awesome. And let's just give Kate Mulgrew the series. I don't care if it doesn't make you money. Just let Kate Mulgrew do the series. Come on,
right?
It's okay.
When Roseanne had her moment and her show just became like the Connors or whatever, like the only reason you continued it was so John Goodman could have a paycheck. Just do that for Kate Mulgrew now, you know? Come on.
I don't care what you do. You should like bring it. You should just have all of the actors like script read it on Broadway or something.
Sure, yeah.
Oh,
I'll come. I'll watch.
Yes,
I'll be there.
I've been dying. I haven't been to a theater and so like to see like a play. I've been to theater with the RE, not the ER. So I would definitely go for a script reading of Prodigy. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, I haven't been to a theater in a long ass time.
I think I went to like the Nutcracker, like I want to say like a couple years ago, a year or two ago. Yeah, it was like 2-3 years ago. Yeah, that was it.
But yeah, if you're not familiar with what Prodigy is, I'll give you some clip notes here. It's about a group of kids who are in pretty much a prison planet and discover this long forgotten ship. Well, maybe not long forgotten, but this forgotten Starfleet ship called the Protostar, and they use it to escape. And it's this group of kids. We eventually find out the backstory about how they all end up there. We're kind of working in this camp. Maybe not even really prisoners. Well, I mean, they are prisoners, but it's not like they're criminals. But they all end up kind of trapped there. And they find this ship and they start learning about Starfleet and the Federation and start liking the ideals and start being like, we want to do that. Let's do that. And I just want to say that's kind of a brilliant idea, like, especially not only for a kid's show, but also for like an introductory show. If you've never seen Star Trek before, here's an introduction because our characters are learning kind of about the Federation and Starfleet, which is a key element in all of Star Trek, pretty much.
I know it does feel like lots of times when you watch this, it's like, okay, this episode is when we're going to sit down and we're going to learn about what a holodeck is.
Yes.
Yes.
And then, yeah, one of the key characters on the ship is Hologram Janeway, who becomes a character in herself because throughout the season, not only do we get Hologram Janeway, we also get Vice Admiral Janeway, like regular Janeway. So, and they're both very distinct characters. But yeah, I love the group of characters. You get the captain. I feel like Dahl's usually Dar RL is usually the captain, but like I feel like that's kind of nebulous between him and Gwen, between who's captain, who's first officer.
Yeah,
and a lot of it is about them like finding their roles too. Because I like how Rock, who's they call her like a Bictar or something.
I want to say it's like a Brickar.
Brickar? Yeah. Never seen them before. But a big old rock creature, essentially. And essentially, they're like, oh, yeah, you'll be security officer. And she's like, I don't want to be the security officer. And then, they end up in this time loop thing where she ends up having a whole bunch of time to learn a whole bunch of science and engineering stuff to save the ship. And she does it. And she ends up having a passion for it. And she becomes a science officer. And I love that. You have
what was the personal favorite episode, by the way? I love when things play with relativity like that. That's one of the reasons I don't like the movie Interstellar so much, because I don't think it did enough with relativity. But like that was like, that's how you do relativity, man. That was sick.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's just such a cool episode too, because like you end up with you have Jankum Pog, who has the least amount of time. Like he figures out what's going on faster than anybody else, but he also has like 2 minutes to resolve it. He can't fix anything. He was like the engineer, the Tellarite engineer they have. And then Zero's next in line for having really low amount of time to work on anything. But she's able to come up with like the schematics of the device they need. And then Dahl attempts to build it, but then it doesn't come through. And then what's Gwen? Gwen actually has to deal with like the actual intruders on the ship, as I recall.
Yeah, because her time was closest to the to what like the actual time would have been, so she didn't have like as much problems with, so things functioned more as they would normally.
Yeah, Dahl and Gwen were closest to normal time, but eventually we start with Rock, and Rock kind of has a freak out because she's not prepared for this. And then we end up going back to Rock because she has by far the most amount of time. We see she has massive amounts of time, and she learns what has to happen, and then she shuts down the Janeway hologram, freaking out, and then she reactivates the Janeway hologram, being like, oh, so like since you told me that, I like built the thing we needed, and here it is. And It just took me quite a few attempts to bring you back up because I built this thing, but I don't know what the fuck to do with it at this point.
Didn't she say that because like Janeway's program had been, I want to say like, I don't know, like deleted, but they had like kind of gotten rid of it. And didn't she say that it had taken her like 87 tries to get her back?
That's part of what took her. That's part of what took her so long to bring Janeway back. It wasn't just she was deactivated. I think she was shut down in Gwen's timeline because the robots deleted her. But because of the time discrepancy, she was left in the she wasn't fully deleted. She was left in like the recycle bin essentially, and Rock had to figure out a way to bring her out of that and recover her program, which
always recycle the recycle bin.
Yes.
I think the thing with Dahl is definitely like the main captain. I feel like he's the primary person that does it. There's like a couple times where Gwyn operates in a more captain like role, but it is. The vast majority of the time it is Dahl. And the thing about that is, I know when we did the episode where like they were on like the evil planet or whatever that's like trying to like take them and eat them or whatever,
kind of like the shore leave planet but evil.
It was revealed that Gwyn knows how to fly the ship. I was like, okay. So like the thing about that is that it's like I saw that and I was like, listen, I get that they're not gonna immediately promote her a super whole lot, but like I feel like if she's the only person that like actually like knows how to like drive the ship, I feel like she should probably be the captain. Well, but the thing is that Dahl, like I don't know what Dahl would do.
Well, also like what you're describing is a role of a helmsman, not necessarily a captain. There's lots more to just driving the ship for the captain.
Well, that's But
you're talking.
Granted, don't mute it when I'm talking.
I'm used. It's a habit. I mute it when I'm about ready to cough.
Okay. So like,
I agree. I think Ashley's got a good point. What do you think, Lindsay?
Listen.
100%.
So
whatever she's saying.
My thing is, if you listen, Star Trek does not go out of its way to explain the difference between. Listen, I understand that the captain is like the ordering people around, yelling at people job.
Yes.
But like, I still feel like that job should be done by someone that actually knows how the ship works. like
why?
Unpopular opinion, I guess.
You think Picard could do shit on that ship? He literally has no idea how to do anything on there. I'm just saying.
No, but
funnily enough, I feel like Janeway would know how to fly the ship. Like if she was like, like I feel like she could like use because she did it a couple times, like in the Year of Hell and stuff like that.
Yeah, Sisko does all right getting his hands in there as well. Janeway probably does it the most though. I think if we need a captain to kind of take over like most of the functions of the ship, probably Janeway's the highest contender, I think, of all our main captains.
Yeah.
Well, that's why she's the best, even if she's crazy. She's just, she's the best.
I don't know. My thing with Voyager is I'm not like super into like Voyager as a TV show, but I really like Janeway, and I really like Seven, and I just wish that they were in a show that was better.
Yeah, I can get behind that. Yes. Yeah.
No, but one last thing about the relativity episode. I love how the hologram of Janeway, because again, the show is so cool. We have a hologram of Janeway, a woman that hated the hologram on her ship, and now she's a hologram herself. The irony, it's amazing. But I love how she goes through all the different timelines, because like she's not a person, she's a hologram. Like I love that. Like she was like the constant through it all. It's just a really clever episode.
She's able to adjust the speed of her program so she can talk to everybody in the different timelines without any issue, which is kind of a cool idea. It makes sense, honestly. Right? Yeah, she was terrible to the Doctor, who was probably the coolest character on Voyager, or one of the coolest. But yeah, but yeah, I love the setup of this series. I love the development of the characters. Obviously, Gwen is the daughter of the Diviner, who is like the main antagonist through most season 1. Who is from this alien species who in the future will be contacted by Starfleet, and they were thriving when they were contacted by Starfleet, and then their planet will descend into chaos 50 years later, and he blames Starfleet for that. It's not exactly clear how they got from point A to point B, but like I see why he blames Starfleet. I just like
the implication is that actually they explained it like a little bit more than what you're saying. So basically,
refresh me.
Yes. I'm going to explain this plot point to you. So they bring this up a little bit. They don't talk about it like a super whole lot. But basically, what happened is when Starfleet came along, they introduced their like ideals and stuff like that, and said, "Hey, this is our stuff. Use it if you want." I don't know. And so like you had like this sort of divide between the Vaunakot, where some of them wanted to sort of stick to the old ways, and some of them were like, "No, I like this socialism. I think I want to do that." And so what happened is the division became so intense that they basically ended up having a civil war over this, and that was how their planet got destroyed. And they blame Starfleet partially because they introduced the ideals, but also because they didn't like do anything to help. They remained neutral.
That was a big one too.
Yes, there you go.
Which it introduces like we have these kids learning about Starfleet and kind of loving the ideals of Starfleet, but then you also have the villains who led by the Diviner who don't like the ideals of Starfleet and are just fucking against it. I love that dynamic. I think that's very cleverly done.
I'm also a big fan of the Diviner as like a scary moniker. There's something pretty imposing about that. Like, what does that mean?
I really like that. I should call myself the Diviner.
I am the Diviner.
Oh, of course.
I am.
It's gonna be like my title every Halloween.
But obviously Gwen's his daughter, and that's part of the reason why she's left in the holding cell. It's also part of the reason why they're a bit more reticent to make her captain, although they're more embracing of her towards the end of the season. But like at the beginning, she's definitely not going to be the captain because they don't trust her at all. Yeah,
especially considering like she's showing like her skill, but I'm also like, okay, so she's not going to get there like immediately, because like she's literally like the only reason I know about this is because she's stealing the ship right now and running away with it.
Yeah. But there's lots of cool characters. We get Zero as a Medusan, which I believe are only in one. I believe there's one original series episode with Medusans, and then this is the second time they're mentioned.
You pointed out to me, so Dahl's genetically enhanced.
Yes.
Right? But I really like you pointed out to me that he's like part Organian.
Yes.
Which like we watched like that one episode that they're in. It's honestly really funny aliens to be honest. It's so
and that is referenced so much. So he's part Organian, which is there as far as I know, they're only referencing 2 other episodes of Star Trek. It is Errand of Mercy, which is also the first introduction of the Klingons. In that episode, which is something I always learned. I learned more recently. I was like, wait, that's the first time they appear. Holy shit. And Kor is the main enemy Klingon in that. So he's the first antagonist Klingon, and he comes back in Deep Space Nine, which is awesome as well.
So basically,
incredible.
A lot of that episode is that the Enterprise goes down to Organia or whatever it's called, because they believe that the Klingons are gonna like take over like the planet and do like unspeakable crimes and whatever. And so they go down and they talk to these dudes, and they're like, "Listen, like the Klingons are gonna come and we want to help you." And the Organians are like, "Man, I know we're gonna be fine. Actually,
yeah,
I mean,
we're good.
You seem really concerned about this. Maybe you should leave." You know?
Yeah.
And so obviously they stay because they think that the Organians are just like stupid.
Yeah.
You know?
They're not acting particularly smart.
The Klingons get there. The Klingons like kill people and stuff, and they're like putting like, and then the Organians are just like, "Yeah, this is fine." And but then like they imprison like the people on like the Enterprise, and then the Organians go get them. And so like Kirk is like, "What is your guys' deal? Like, what is your problem?
Like, you guys don't seem to care that they're killed. Like they're like in the episode, there's literally a point where the Klingons are like, "We're going to round up Organians and kill you 100 at a time until you tell us the information we need to know." And they're doing it. They're killing them 100 at a time. And the Organians are like, "Yeah, we don't care. It's, whatever. We need to help protect Kirk and Spock because they might hurt you guys. It's very dangerous out there with all these Klingons." And they're like, "But they're murdering you guys en masse. What the hell?"
And then basically they show up at the end, and we discover that like all of the Organians are actually like they're not like they're all just like made of like energy or whatever.
Yeah, they're all
they're like hyper evolved and
yeah.
they're like and then they lecture them about how war is bad.
Yes.
And then they just like leave.
Yeah.
It's so funny to me because it's like they all just wasted their time.
Yeah. It's like you people have been trying
the most vague people ever.
Yeah, it's like war is primitive. You people are primitive. Get the fuck off our planet, and just get rid of them all. And it's like okay. But that's the first time we get to see the Organians. Oh, go ahead.
No, I need to see this. I love old Star Trek specifically because of this weird crap. I need to watch this episode.
Yeah.
This is amazing. So this is the first time we. This is Zero's race. The first time we saw them.
This is the first time we see the Organians, which are the key race involved with the body switch episode that happens late in the season.
Yes, because that's
I apologize.
Okay. Dal's DNA is spliced with.
Yeah, they bring it up specifically, and then I'm like, oh, that's interesting. They bring it up, probably just an old reference, but then they cite it specifically as the reason why there's a mind swap because in the episode of Enterprise, I want to say season 4's Observer Effect, the Organians return, except nobody knows they're Organians. They actually inhabit the body of Enterprise crew and observe them because I want to say it's Trip and Hoshi get infected with a virus that is pretty much guaranteed to wipe them all out.
Are they still extremely vague?
Yeah, pretty much. They're there to observe this virus because they think it's interesting to see how species handle this virus. The most successful species they found kill the people who are infected immediately, and then they have a chance to survive. And essentially they're like, well, they aren't killing them immediately, so these species are likely to wipe themselves out very quickly, and they're just observing it. And essentially you get some distance because one Organian's kind of like, yeah, this is what they're going to wipe themselves out. They didn't kill them off, so it was our mistake. And then the other one's like, well, I mean, they're showing empathy. Maybe there's more to this species than we're giving them credit for. And the older one's like, no, they're going to kill themselves. But yeah,
that's crazy. Okay.
Yeah, it's a decent episode of Enterprise as well. I have my gripes with the Enterprise, of course. I have gripes with the Errand of Mercy as well, but Errand of Mercy also has that 60s cheese quality that's fun. So
yeah, I forgot. Spock ended up when he went like undercover. He wore this outfit that I thought was just like delightful. I forget what it looks like though.
Of course, he's covering up his ears because once you do that, you can't tell he's an alien.
He had some fit that was really awesome.
Yeah,
I remember I was talking about it like the whole time.
Mm-hmm. But that's a whole
hilarious.
That's the whole. The reason they introduced that is to introduce the idea of the body swapping, and they introduced the idea that Janeway and Dal are able to body swap because they attempt a psychic connection through his Organian DNA. They're able to body swap because the ships are firing phasers at each other,
and so it creates a conduit because he's not quite as epic and evolved, so he needs like a physical conduit.
And then of course it resolves itself with the only logical conclusion. To swap back, Janeway has to shoot Dal.
It's
so
really,
she does.
I love Janeway.
This is great.
Much. She's so awesome.
It's like, yep, that's a Janeway move.
She went and she was like, well, I guess I'm gonna have to shoot this child, and then didn't even think twice about it.
Yes, it was amazing.
Janeway is known for two things: coffee and flying her ship into a pulsar in order to get someone to leave her alone.
That is true. That episode was so wild. I kind of love it though, when like they're all getting the science experiments on him, and she's like, "Yeah, we're gonna fly into a pulsar," and they're like, "You're gonna kill everyone on this ship." She's like, "Yep, now I'm gonna kill you too." Just saying.
was this Voyager?
Yes, I think we didn't watch it. I think it was part of the horror setup, but. It was so batshit that it was amazing. Just like, oh my god, Janeway.
Like honestly, that's the most Janeway moment ever. Go ahead though, Ashleen.
Janeway's like number one move, like in any scenario where like her crew is threatened, is just going to be like, I'm going to kill me and all of my crew and also you and all of your crew. Like I'm just going to kill everyone. Everyone is going to die.
Slight correction. We've had discussion before. That's her number 2 move. Her number 1 move is delete the Doctor. Just, we're in danger. Let's delete the Doctor. I am shocked the number of times in that show it becomes relevant that deleting the Doctor is the only logical course of action right now. We got to delete him.
Yeah, I know it's so
like, what the hell?
She'll just like randomly be advising her crew and be like, by the way, if anything goes south, kill that guy.
Yeah.
such an epic Janeway moment.
Lindsay, what are some of your highlight moments here?
Again, I adored that the relativity episode. I've actually I kind of want to go back and watch it again. I really liked it that much. And I just need to say, because I'm a huge fan of Ella Purnell, she is so good in this show, man.
Oh yeah,
as
really
Gwen.
Nice.
Like I think the thing that really holds the show together is the relationship between Gwen and her father, the diviner. Like, you don't need that by any means, but it's such a strong thing to hang everything else off of. And Ella just nails it, man. Like, she's great in Arcane, she's great in Fallout. She's just a freaking queen.
Well, I mean, I was about ready to say, after Fallout, if you watch Fallout and you're not a fan of Ella Purnell, then you're not paying attention, I guess, because she was amazing in that show. Holy crap! But yeah.
Ella Purnell, she has this power. I don't know like what she does, but anytime I'm watching something and she plays a character in it, I'm like immediately attached to the character.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. And I don't know what she's doing.
It's magical.
Well, I mean, I made the joke a second ago, but in Fallout, the first time she said "okie dokie," I was like, I would die for this character.
I would die for you.
But the cast is great too. Jason Mantzoukas is incredible as Jankum Pog. I mean, Mantzoukas is going through his own renaissance right now, and like, I don't know if you're watching Invincible, but he's been incredible on that show.
Who's Invincible? That seems familiar. That voice.
He's Rex Blode.
Oh, sure, yes.
He's the guy from Good Place. That's not as recent though.
Yes.
Was it Jason?
He was. No, it was Derek, wasn't it?
Derek.
Yeah,
Derek. I don't know why I love Jason.
He was awesome in Good Place. Have you seen Good Place, Lindsay?
I haven't. I really need to, though.
Yes, it is awesome. Especially like when you get to the big reveal in season 1. It's like, holy shit. Yeah, it kind of season 1 sets up the series and then redefines it all at the end. It's kind of amazing.
That's fun. I'm down for that.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. But we're talking about another really good show, Star Trek Prodigy. And I want to talk a little bit about All the Worlds a Stage, which I think is just a fun episode. It's actually a semi-sequel to the original series episode, Obsession, which I watched as well, but it was a while ago. But it tells the story of what happens to Ensign Garivik after that episode. And essentially, he finds himself stranded on a busted-up shuttlecraft, stranded on this planet with his people who help him and save him. But he tells them kind of the stories of Starfleet, or as they call it, Starflight, because it gets a little mumbled over time. And yeah, these alien people who consider themselves Starflight, they try to live by the ideals of it. And even in this photo you can see on here, she's doing the live logs and proper salute.
It was live logs and proper.
Yes, they have all this. It's like you recognize all the Starfleet stuff, but it's all a little bit wrong.
I know when we initially found upon them, they were like, "Oh my goodness, hello, Sulu."
Yeah,
are you seeing this, James T? And I was like, I hate this.
The big hero, James T. It's like, oh my god, that's not right at all.
I like that they exclusively call him Enson.
Yes, and
like I know I was watching that and I was like, did he never tell them what his actual name was?
Well, no. Well, I mean, there's a recorded message that they find where it's Ensign Garivik. That's where you find out the connection to the original series, which is it's a fun little connection.
Well, you know, I didn't remember.
Well, I also didn't show you the episode that it's based on as well. But yeah, I'm a bad father.
I was a big fan of all the Worlds a Stage. One, because I love the Shakespeare reference. You know, Star Trek's always referencing Shakespeare.
Has it referenced Shakespeare before?
I just think once or twice. You know, just here and there. No biggie.
Trivia recently with my dad and my family in general, and you know it's bad when you're a host of a Star Trek podcast and you're losing the Star Trek trivia thing with your family.
Well, you're losing it to me. I think that's reasonable.
I was losing it to everyone else too. But my goodness, I forgot. No, I guess Shakespeare for one of the things because I knew that it was Shakespeare. So
real quick, the question was, I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember exactly. What I'm trying to think. What writer does General Chang quote frequently throughout Star Trek 6? That's pretty much the question. And you guess Shakespeare.
Yeah. And then it was like we had like another question, and I thought that the answer was also Shakespeare, but I was like, I've already said it, so I like, don't want to say that. The answer was Shakespeare.
Yes. Well, it didn't help that Poppy threw up Nietzsche, and it's like, it's not Nietzsche.
He was on my team, and I was like, he's known Star Trek for longer than I've been alive. I'm gonna consult him, and he was like, I think it's Nietzsche, and I was like, okay.
And I'm like, no, General Chang does not quote Nietzsche. Ashleen's right. Don't divert her. Oh no.
Besides, it was a different Gene Roddenberry show that dived into Nietzsche and his stuff with Andromeda. Totally. Remember that?
Oh God, Kevin Sorbo too. God, talk about a show. I love the premise of that, and I'm glad they kind of revisit it for season 3 of Discovery, because Andromeda just talk about a show that just didn't work, and there's no way I'm revisiting it with Kevin Sorbo the way he is now. But yeah,
I tried watching a few episodes just for fun, and man, it's amazing how much worse it looks than its contemporary Star Trek shows. Like, it is legitimately hard to watch just from a visual standpoint. Sometimes it looks very cheap.
Yeah. Potentially cool premise, but yeah.
Yeah, but anyways, All the World's a Stage, Prodigy. I love when Star Trek lets itself kind of make fun of itself, and I feel like that's what they kind of not made fun of itself, but like they had fun with itself, I particularly love at the end of the episode when all these aliens that have been trained to be Starfleet officers, they want to pilot the protostar, but it's too advanced, they don't know what it looks like, so they throw holograms over everything in order to make it look like the original Enterprise. That was adorable. And Ella Purnell does have an earnestness about her.
Yeah, I was about to say, Henry's bringing up earnestness about Ella Purnell, and I'm like, yeah, I agree. I think that's part of her charm.
100%.
But yeah, there's quite a few kind of lots of callbacks to previous Star Trek, although obviously it's built to be like kind of like for people to learn about Star Trek. So obviously my son really watched all this. He really enjoyed it. He doesn't have much of a background in Star Trek because he doesn't like watching a lot of it. But yeah, he was down for this. But there's lots of connections. Like I like when we get Captain O'Connor there for a couple episodes. It's like, God, talk about a character to bring back. The outrageous O'Connor is not exactly a highlight of TNG, but okay, sure, we can bring him back.
I really like when Janeway brings up the fact that she like turned into a salamander that one time.
Yes.
I was like, man, I didn't think that they were gonna go there, but that's pretty epic.
It's like Lower Decks goes there a couple times, and it's like you get it. But like when they went there on this, I was like, my God.
She says it so casually.
Yeah.
I turned into a salamander.
And by the way, we will need maybe just to start a short trek about what happens to Paris and Janeway's kids. That's all I'm asking for.
They become the dominant race in that quadrant of the galaxy, and they outclass the Borg. And that may take a few million years, but still, like
that's all I'm asking for.
So very disappointed that Lower Decks didn't do anything with that because it feels so perfect.
I know. It would have been nice for Lower Decks a sequel episode. That would have been amazing.
What if we get season 3 of Prodigy and Admiral Janeway has a little salamander pet?
Oh my God. And they're like, oh, that's a cute pet. And she's like, that's my child.
And she's like, thank you. It has half of my DNA.
It forces Paris to come up. It's like, yeah, we have shared custody.
It's awkward with B'Elanna, but we make it work.
Yes. He was a salamander when it happened. It doesn't count.
Any other standout episodes? If I had to be honest, I think first episode isn't the strongest. I wasn't, but
I think it
by
works,
the end of the episode,
I do think it's better when it goes on.
Yeah. Like the moment Janeway shows up. No, you're fine, bud. Don't worry about it. I keep interrupting you. You're fine. The moment Janeway shows up, the show really kicks into a high gear. But I don't know if that's episode 2 or 3. But for what it's doing, the first episode works. It just it's first episode itis.
Yeah, it's the setup. I think it's strong enough to get you kind of interested in what's going on. But yeah, once once they find the ship is when you can kind of tell. It's probably with the writers too. They're finally getting to the series to the point where they want you to be kind of to the stories they want to start telling. Because that is when they start doing lots of Star Trek callbacks. I mean, we kind of brought up a Dreamcatcher, which is kind of a reference to Shore Leave, although the planet's motivations are completely different. But like, it does the same thing. Essentially, the crew lands there and they just see whatever they want to see.
I know we watched those like right after each other.
Yes.
Like, I want to say maybe in like the same day, or like
Oh,
at least
well,
close.
we watched it,
But
and
it
then
was
that night I decided while I was going to sleep to put on Shore Leave, and I didn't watch a lot of it, but I saw the Alice in Wonderland stuff, and I was like, oh, maybe I should show this to Ashleen. I think next day I showed it to Ashleen. And then the Alice in Wonderland stuff was literally just stuff at the beginning. There's no more after that. And then the episode goes, the episode is so bizarre. Holy shit. It's like
I like the knowledge that like Sulu's like greatest like desire, his biggest fantasy or whatever, is to get like chased after by like
a samurai, apparently.
Yes.
Yeah. and apparently to find a random gun on a planet somewhere and just shoot it just randomly.
Yeah, I know. It was so funny because they go up to him and there isn't supposed to be anything here. He's just like shooting this gun he found on the ground. He's scaring everyone to death, you know, because there's not supposed to be anyone here, not supposed to be any guns like that, certainly. Mm-hmm. And he's just like, yeah, I just found this gun on the ground and I thought I'd take a couple shoots with it. You know how it is. And it's like, dude.
And yeah, and like McCoy and then
right
McCoy and then I want to say random woman ensign or lieutenant die on this planet. And then we find out that it's just something, this planet is there to give these people exactly what they want. And it turns out they're all fine. And it's
which also reveals that like one of the yeoman's like greatest dreams is to be like assaulted by Don Juan.
Yes. Apparently, yes. Because one of the yeomans gets it seems like some essay against the yeoman from Don Juan that generates. So apparently that's what she wanted. Listen, guys, the original series gets a bit sexist. It's not great. You know. it means well, but I mean, there's the joke. There's a joke in that one where the yeoman and McCoy are talking, and he's like, "Yeah, man, if you looked any prettier, you'd be, you'd be fighting off lots of men, including me." It's like, McCoy, are you saying you'd commit SA on her?
No, because it's specifically, he says like you'd have to fight off a lot of Don Juans, and within the context of what Don Juan was doing earlier that day, and he's like, including me.
It's like, no, McCoy, bad McCoy. No. But anyways, the Dreamcatcher episode, because the planet in Shore Leave is actually giving people their desires, and it's doing it apparently just to give them a vacation spot. Weird.
That's interesting. I didn't watch this episode. I've heard about it before. I need to get around. I need to see this
weird. Listen, original series is kind of fun to go back to because it's fucking weird.
Because it's like my biggest fantasy is to be chased by a tiger. Like, what is happening?
Listen, lots of times when it's like when we're just watching some random Star Treks, I'll ask her TNG or TOS, and whenever I ask that question, 99% of the time Ashley answers TOS. I know why.
I want the. Good
I know
cheese.
why because it is so 60s and strange, and sometimes it's genuinely good. But yeah. But Dreamcatcher is kind of the same type of planet, except it's actually malicious. It's actually after their ship.
I think it's like just better.
Yeah, it's a better episode. Yeah, it doesn't take. It would make more sense for the planet and surely to be malicious. Why is it killing people if it's giving them what they want? This is weird.
I do like the Diviner's ending to his plot in that episode.
Yes,
because like the way it's edited together is really clever, and it's just a really tense moment. Awesome. I don't want to give spoilers, but it's a really great resolution. It's a fun episode.
I'm glad you said something because I was about ready to spoil the shit out of it because I do love the twist of how they set it up. But yeah, it's a cool twist.
I will say, I also on another note, I really like Gwyn's design.
Oh,
I think that she looks cool. I especially like I like her little like spear heirloom thing that like because it mostly just like goes around her arm and it just looks like this kind of like cool little
decorative
expensive
thing,
jewelry disc that she's got, and then she's just like, "Come forth, my child."
Yeah,
and
she's
she
able
starts
to
stabbing people with
mutate it into different weapons and stuff like that, and it's like, okay, that's a badass weapon. I bet you Worf would look at that and be like, "Oh, coolest weapon
isn't
ever."
there a thing where they go down to a planet and like a Klingon tries to like steal it? That's
maybe.
like a thing.
Yeah,
that's
that does seem vaguely familiar.
It was a thing for like 5 seconds, but it was a thing.
Yeah,
because then she's just like, no, and then she leaves.
Well, is that when she turned it into a bat lift? Because she turned it into a bat lift at one point.
There was
didn't
something,
she?
yeah, there was something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
I also like the moment where she turns it into like a little buckler and she's like blocking laser blasts with it. Like it's just a very versatile tool. It's a cool idea.
I'm trying to think. I know there was some more to go into before we get to kind of the ending one. Like we get more Okana and he's kind of he's a flake, which is I guess in keeping with his character. But oh yeah, I guess we should talk about like the big twist. So I think episode 17 kind of has the big twist that I really like. So it's a holodeck episode. So I will say like the actual storyline gets a little stale, but there's a point to it. So our characters are doing like a test on the hologram. They're trying to figure out what's up, and they keep on failing this test. So they step out and grab a snack, and all of a sudden they notice there's little like things happening. Things are appearing where they shouldn't be, and they're like, holy shit, we're still on the holodeck.
Great twist.
Which is a fun little twist that I think they've done that before on holodeck episodes, but it's a fun twist you can always do.
Really
ship in a bottle, yes.
I really like the way that they pull it off at the end though, and they sort of have like this sort of moment for Janeway, hologram Janeway.
So so like they keep on going through their own personal programs, the ones they play through a lot, and they're like, geez, why is this malfunction? Really focusing on our personal programs and mixing them together. Like we get I'm trying to remember. I know we get Jankum Pogs, where he fights other Tellarites. Yeah, we get Murphs, where he's like a lounge singer, which is awesome. I guess we haven't really talked about Murph. He's like this gelatinous, indestructible alien. Yeah, you can't talk, but
to be honest, like at the end when they said only 5 of them were like accepted, I like completely forgot about like Doll being an augment or anyone else having any other priorities, and I'm like, oh well, like Murph isn't going, right?
Yeah,
because
Murph is going. Murph, who eventually becomes security officer, and it's like, well, he is indestructible, so I guess that makes sense. But he wants to be a lounge singer. Who was the first? Oh yeah, the first one was Zero with the mystery, the haunted house mystery she was doing.
And Gwyn doesn't really like go into like the holodeck, but like the holodeck does like conjure up like images of like her father.
Yes, and at first they're thinking, okay, we have to finish this program so we can get to the arch and get out of here because now the commands are working. So they start following the program guidelines, and eventually Zero figures out, okay, the program's actually just distracting us. We're never going to get to the end. We have to stop doing this. And the reveal, which is kind of the highlight of the episode, so spoilers, but like big reveal. It's because there's this kind of devastating weapon on board the ship that will destroy Starfleet.
Well,
I know I'm jumping around a bit.
We already knew about that.
Yeah, we did already know about that. But what we didn't know is that it is hologram Janeway that is keeping them in the holodeck and putting them on a course towards Starfleet. And she's doing this kind of without her knowledge. It's like a subsection of her program, kind of isolated from her. But like it's kind of this villain reveal for her, where it's like, holy shit, they cannot trust hologram Janeway, who's been like this trusted advisor throughout the whole season up to this point. And it's like, holy shit, that's a crazy reveal, and it makes sense considering all the traps set up on this trip for Starfleet.
And I think it introduced kind of an interesting conflict for hologram Janeway too.
Yeah,
because she didn't even know that she did that.
Yeah,
like in her mind, she was trying to get them out.
Yeah, but she actually wasn't. She was actually keeping them in there, and
she was putting them like in danger, and she didn't even know.
She disabled the safeties.
Everyone in danger, you know.
So they're. It was kind of like it's kind of a wild episode when like, and it's like for most part, you're just watching. It's like, okay, yeah, it's a holodeck episode. I know the drill. And then when it gets to reveal, it's like, oh, that's cool. That's a cool twist. Holy shit.
When they did that, I was like, well, every Star Trek show has to have an episode where they get trapped in the holodeck with the safeties off. Why not?
Yeah, exactly. It was like, okay, this show can do it too. But I think the reveal really elevates this episode quite a bit. And that
because it's not a filler episode like most hologram episodes are. Yeah. It's a character episode. It's a well written show. And I guess we should address, just in case, or I guess maybe we shouldn't go into spoilers, like the thing that's on the ship.
Yeah, so, I kind of already gone to it, so I think it's fine to talk about it. But yeah, there's they because they find it fairly early in the ship. I want to say episode 11, when they first visit that distant star, Asylum. It's the first piece of Federation Starfleet that they discover. They're like, oh, thank God, we've been trying to reach you guys. You know, they meet this Denobulan lieutenant who's kind of an asshole, but we'll get through it. He's there and he's like, hey, welcome to Starfleet. Da 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 da. It's great to have company. It's good to have you guys here. And he goes over, he scans them, he figures out, oh, they're species. He tells them all about themselves. Because lots of them don't even know. Like Jane Compog didn't even realize Tellarites were like a founding member of the Federation. He's like, holy shit, I'm a key member of the Federation. Fuck yeah. They learn a lot more about themselves, but they also find out when the probe starts really connecting with the ship, and then the satellite station connects to the ship, then starts destroying itself. And what they find out is that there's this virus on there by Diviner, right? To destroy Starfleet. Part of his plan is to return the protostar to Starfleet so it would destroy itself. So the one thing these kids want to do, go to Starfleet, join Starfleet, they now can't do, because if they get their ship there, they're going to destroy Starfleet. Which is a great twist again.
I really
it's just a great inverse.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ashley, because the first half of the season we're trying to do A. Now, no, we have to do the opposite. Like it's like Mad Max Fury Road. No, we've got to get away from the Citadel. No, we got to go back to the Citadel.
Yeah.
I do think on a completely separate matter, I just wanted to talk about this for a moment because I think that it's funny. Remember when like the Diviner like takes over like the ship for a moment, or so he thinks, you know? And then like he's like getting rid of this stupid Janeway. I want my Janeway back, and then Janeway comes back and she has like black lipstick and stuff.
Yeah,
I always think that stuff like that is so funny. Why did she get a makeover
to be evil Janeway?
Like he was like, not only does she not agree with my questionable morality, but she doesn't look good.
Her fashion is garbage.
She needs to be on the same level as me.
That was fun. But yeah, it all kind of wraps up with them. They get in contact with actual Janeway. They're able to tell her, hey, we have been avoiding you, not because we are hostile or anything, but because we have this computer virus that will destroy freaking Starfleet if we talk to you. So they're able to get that through to Admiral Janeway, and she's like, okay, she's trying to explain what's going on, and it's all pretty much essentially too late, because they meet up with us. They get hauled into a whole Starfleet fleet. They get a connection, and Starfleet starts destroying itself, which is a hell of a thing to start seeing.
Yeah. They don't trust Janeway, because at that point, while Dao was in Janeway's body, he has managed to convince everyone through his antics that Janeway is like extremely ill.
Yeah, extremely mentally unwell. And not Dahl's fault, but he just has no idea how Janeway acts.
No, which is kind of interesting, because like he's with hologram Janeway all the time, and hologram Janeway isn't normal Janeway, but hologram Janeway is
close enough
after normal Janeway.
It's like,
and so it's like, okay, I guess he just is terrible at acting. Good
it's like, Dahl, how often do you see hologram Janeway use finger guns? Maybe use them a bit less.
Doesn't he also say something like, "Oh, I hate coffee" or something like that? Or
Yeah,
he
no,
says something about coffee, right?
Yeah,
No.
in Janeway's body, he drinks coffee and then spits out. Oh, what is this crap? It's like,
no, he literally he
what
says
it
like,
is.
how does she drink this?
yeah, it's like, bro, play the role.
Lock in.
yeah, probably the second he spit out the coffee, they're just like, okay, she's not right in the head. She's insane.
No,
Lock
they were
her up.
like moving her to sick bay.
yeah.
And stuff. That like they have her like he's like watching like they're like trying to like communicate with him and he's like talking about it out loud and making all these like big statements and he's like, so I have to get outside the ship and I have to go and I have to jump out and I have to like shake hands with you, and then you cut to like people watching him and they're like
oh no. Oh no. But eventually, the spoilers for the whole season, but like today's last day to watch it, and it's awesome. But yeah, essentially they're able to save Starfleet by destroying their own ship, and there's even this really great moment where hologram Janeway is supposed to back up her program so that she can go on the escape pod with them, and the chip has insufficient memory, and she essentially lies and hands them the chip, says, "Here I am. Go save yourselves," which is, God damn it. It choked me up a little bit. I was like, oh.
I also love the reveal that she's too big to go on the chip because she's grown too much from being with them. It's like,
developed,
that's the good emotion right there.
Yeah.
Hologram Janeway.
And I kind of also like that. Yeah, it's a kid's show, but it's not afraid to kill off a character. And it's sad, but it does it well.
I can't get over Janeway shooting doll.
That is classic. That is classic.
Truly a show that understands the spirit of Trek and the spirit of Janeway.
Yes.
Like it's like hologram Janeway. Like she's based off of Janeway. But I don't feel like she would like actively like within her knowledge do something that would like, harm them, because she's not designed for that. She's designed to help them. And then as soon as we get to like normal Janeway, she's like, I know what to do. Shoots child.
Yes. So I guess a real quick thought that was crossing my mind, because I've seen people like be like, hey, we had Star Trek Picard, so you know what they need to do? They need to do Star Trek Janeway.
We need to do Star Trek Cisco.
So
yes, we do need Star Trek Cisco. But like every time they say do Star Trek Janeway, it's like, I'm not against it, but you do know Prodigy exists, right? Prodigy is her story. I mean, it's not her story, but like she's a major character throughout this series. If you want to see more Janeway, it's on Prodigy. You get a little bit of hologram and a lot of Vice Admiral Janeway throughout this series.
I get not wanting to bring back Cisco partially because Avery Brooks is retired, and partially because they might just not really know how they would want to do that in a satisfying manner. But maybe Star Trek Kira.
When we get to it,
you really want to show me that documentary.
That documentary where they workshop the season premiere of season 8 Deep Space Nine. Oh man, it's so good. It's like one day, it's like, it sounds awesome.
What's that cliche thing? It's like, oh, I wish I was you, Ashleen, just so I could watch that documentary for the first time again. Like it's actually so good. Like,
yeah, I think it's good to finish the series, and then once you get all the series done, watch that documentary. But when you see them like, you get like the best Deep Space Nine writers together, and they workshop season 8 premiere, and it's like, oh, that's so cool. That's such a great idea. Do that,
I know it's fun because when I'm finished watching just like the normal Deep Space Nine show, which I'm very close to doing, I'm gonna watch the documentary and then I'm gonna read the Garrick book.
Yes,
that's
yes.
Gonna be
I got her I did get her the audiobook for Garrick's story, A Stitch in Time, as written by Andrew Robson and read by Andrew Robson in the audiobook, which is awesome.
Yeah.
What? That's sick.
Yes,
that's sick, actually.
Yeah, I have I read the regular book back in the day because the audiobook didn't exist, which is sad. So she's gonna get it a completely different way. But actually, for a while at work, I was listening to audiobooks a lot, and that's where I learned to appreciate them. Because when you're doing mindless activity, audiobooks are awesome.
Oh no, I was when I was closing the bar down, I'd be alone for an hour or two, kind of closing everything up on my own. I'd always have my headphones in, listening to something. I feel you, man. Like it
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah, it does a great job of keeping your mind occupied because
All right.
lots of jobs are just menial and boring. It's like I can do this in my sleep. But yeah, yeah, Prodigy's a great show. It deserves more respect, and I'll be the first to admit, as a viewer, I slept on this for a long time. As a huge Star Trek fan, I slept on this because I was like, oh, it's the kids show. Kind of like how I slept on the animated series. Although going into the animated series, I was like, this isn't amazing. I'll be honest. Prodigy is really good. And I really like what they do. I like how they kind of expand on the story of Voyager in ways that I feel like Voyager didn't even really do. But yeah, we get lots of continuations of characters.
We're gonna give them season 3, and then suddenly they're going to make Neelix like a compelling character.
Oh my god! Well, I mean, I will say we got a little bit of Chakotay in this season, and we get a decent amount of Janeway. And then next season we're gonna get a lot more of those two. And then if Lindsay hasn't seen it, I won't spoil it. From another Voyager character becomes a major player in that. So yeah,
Naomi Wildman.
No.
I know every time we watch Voyager, I'm always trying to get Evan out here, and I'm like, so it's the lady from Prodigy.
Yeah, because Prodigy's like his favorite Star Trek show, and it's like, well, here's Voyager, there's Janeway, it's the same character.
And then there's the Chakotay that they're looking for, that they're concerned about. There's the Chakotay.
Unfortunately, Chakotay is much more boring in Voyager than honestly. He's kind of interesting in Prodigy, but Voyager was kind of
the mystery man.
Yeah,
where is that guy?
Yeah.
There was a minute while I was watching the first few episodes where I got in my head, wait, is Chakotay voicing this weird spooky robot that's chasing them? Because there was such a mystery about him, and wait, is that because I had these headphones on? I was like, wait, is that him? Is that Robert Beltran? And I mean, it wasn't, but I cared about Chakotay.
Yeah,
so hyped about Chakotay for 5 seconds. It was awesome.
But yeah, it's an awesome show. Today is literally the last day of season 1 on Netflix, but we spoiled a lot of it, so you can watch it. If this is June 25th and you're interested in it, you can watch this podcast, then dive into season 2. You'll be missing a lot of details, but I guess it's kind of the options you have, because season 1 won't be streaming anywhere after today.
You're gonna have to traverse the 7 seas if you want to see.
Yes. Well, to my understanding,
unless you have a physical copy.
Yeah, I was about to say there is a physical copy. To my understanding, they didn't. It's not still in print, and it is wildly overpriced. So honestly, selling the 7 seas is probably your best bet to watch season 1 after today. Which is really frustrating.
What's really annoying is that even technically sailing the 7 seas at that point? If there's not not sailing the 7 seas way for me to watch it, it doesn't matter how I watch it.
I think if I had my way, I would say that should be legal. If it's not commercially available anywhere, how else are you supposed to watch it? Come on.
It's like with emulating old video games. If there's literally not a way for me to play Terranigma on any modern consoles, I have to emulate it on my laptop. I'm sorry.
There's stuff like that where it's what do you expect me to do? You can't actually punish me for that, right? There's no other way to do it. But yeah.
One more voice actor I want to call out for this that I love in the show, Zero, played by Angus Emery. That dude is so good. A few years ago, he was in a movie called it was a King Arthur movie where Patrick Stewart was playing Merlin, and then Patrick Stewart casts a spell to make himself young, and he becomes Angus Emery, and it's actually a really good movie. It's not for required viewing, but it's fun, right? It's kind of a fun, weird movie. It's he's great in this show too, and I think keep an eye on him. I think he's going places. He's anyway.
That's right, because I remember being disappointed when Patrick Stewart was gone, but then the kid did a really fucking good job. And I was like, okay, cool, yeah, okay. It takes a lot to make me be listen, man, it was a job that Tom Hardy wasn't able to do in Nemesis, and I love Tom Hardy, but like when he comes out as younger Picard, I'm like, this doesn't work for me. They should have just had Patrick Stewart play evil Picard, because that would have been so much cooler.
Really funny because it's like, wait, but like what happened to like so he's been like bald forever, I guess. But like what happened to like his face in between?
Yeah, why does his face look I've seen Patrick Stewart at 20. He doesn't look like Tom Hardy at all.
Man, I wish they had gone full Star Trek on and for Nemesis actually, and just it had Tom Hardy's part just be played by Picard, but with like a full goatee, so it's like full mirror universe.
Yeah, well, that would have been better, but I don't know. Like, I just love the idea. Like, Patrick Stewart is a great actor. Let him cheese it up a bit. Let him be the big villain. Fuck it, man.
Right. I will say though, I do kind of like the idea as well. Do like the opposite thing. Give like a Young's evil Picard or whatever, sort of like the metalhead get up with like the really long flowing locks of hair and maybe like a really big like beard too. I think that'd be really fun. Like you can't even tell he doesn't look like Picard because you can't see him because of all the hair.
So the conclusion is Angus Emery, I want to say is his name, the voice actor for Zero, should have played Shinzon in Star Trek Nemesis.
He was probably like 12 when that movie came out, but you know what? He still should have done it anyway.
Yes. I mean, I'll be honest. I was shocked when I looked up. I was like, Zero's voiced by a dude?
Yeah, I know. Right? I found that out recently, and I was like, whoa.
That because it doesn't sound like a dude at all. Like, and that's the thing about voice actors. Lots of times they'll just be like, they'll cast based on the voice you can do, and it has nothing to do with, you know, what you actually look like. It's kind of the fun element of voice acting too. You never know.
I agree. It blew my mind when I was a kid, and I learned Bart was voiced by a woman. I was like,
yes.
I think that's like kind of a decent bit more common than the other way around. I do think though that's partially because lots of times women, if they're playing like guy roles, are like normally playing like a
kid,
you know?
Higher pitched voice. Yeah. But yeah,
I will say though, partially, I don't think this is like entirely the same thing, because don't they bring up like right when Zero's introduced that the Medusans are supposed to be genderless?
It wouldn't surprise me. I don't know if they are,
isn't, like,
but
an epic reach for his voice. I'm just saying it's not like a one-to-one.
Well, even if they're genderless, I'm pretty sure Zero goes by she, her. So, but yeah,
I'm trying to remember actually now that we're like bringing it up, like what
I'm actually like I wasn't paying very close attention to that specific aspect.
I thought I thought she went by she, her. Maybe I'm wrong. Am I misgendering Zero, guys?
We're gonna like look up. Like,
I'm canceled. I'm canceled.
Zero's pronouns?
Yeah, what are Zero's preferred pronouns?
I wanted to like bring that up to you earlier when you started saying that, but then I was like, what if I'm wrong?
But they won't do preferred pronouns on Star Trek. That'd be woke, and Star Trek's never woke.
You see the... Yeah.
I was trying to think. There's something.
Actually, that's funny. Has Star Trek? Oh no, Star Trek has done the pronouns thing. And when Riker made out with the
They literally had the pronoun discussion that all the chuds freak out over whenever it pops up in a show. Now it's like, guys, this has been going on forever. There's nothing wrong for pronoun discussion.
I'm seeing a thing where some people are saying that Zero went by they them pronouns, so I'm going to trust them.
Okay.
I'm going to believe.
I have been misgendering Zero this whole time. I apologize.
You go into the pit right now. Go into
I'm tweeting Angus Emery right now to tell on you, Bob. So
I'm going to put together like a call out post about you.
You guys are mean.
Welcome back,
Bob.
To
wrap this up. I am canceled. Star Trek Pulaski. Okay. That wasn't my first pick, but okay, sure, why not? You know, Pulaski is definitely a character that can be developed. You know, there was part of me that wondered, like, they would have had two chief medical officers, but like, there's always part of me that wonders, like, you know, what would happen if to Voyager if Kes had stayed on, and also the same thing, what would happen to TNG if Crusher comes back in season 3, but Pulaski's still there?
That's interesting.
Yeah, little alternate universes. Like, what happens if they decide to just keep people? Because like, it's always been a question for me. Because after Deep Space Nine, when they bring on Worf, they just bring on Worf. They don't get rid of anybody. They just bring him on. But then all the others, like when they bring on 7 and 9, they get rid of Kes. And it's like, did you need to get rid of Cass? Like, she feels like a character that's poorly developed, but like there's definitely lots of stuff to explore with her.
No, we didn't do good on her character immediately, so we need to get rid of her now. Put her out of her misery.
Not doing good with a character immediately would delete half the cast of lots of Star Trek shows. Come
also
on.
true.
But
now that you're bringing this up, I want to see the alternate universe where
Mhm.
we get both
not last long at all.
Ezri and Jazeera Dax just sharing the symbiote, so they're like twins.
Yeah.
I don't know how else they're anyway. Yeah.
But yeah, I was trying to think what else is there. It's an awesome show. Great voice cast. I'm trying to think is there. I do love the characters overall. I'm trying to think is there a character we haven't gone over. I think we've discussed most everybody.
Yeah, I guess. I suppose.
I love Rock.
Oh, is there
She's
somebody you're
adorable.
thinking of?
No, I don't know. I feel like, to be fair, I don't really think we've like I don't really feel like we've like discussed anyone in like a super deep manner anyway. So I'm going to.
Do we have a favorite characters?
I mean, I guess probably Win. I do really like. I've been a big fan though of Admiral Janeway ever since she shot that child.
Yes,
I like how I'm saying that child as though he's not like the main protagonist. It's fine. I don't know. It's introduced via him.
I'm trying to
think. I feel like don't get me wrong. Most Star Trek shows in general are very ensemble led, but like normally there is sort of like more of a main guy in a manner, and that's normally the captain, and they do start off with him. I say things with purpose.
I'm going to diverge a little bit, and while you guys named great characters, I'm gonna go ahead and go with Rock because I like Rock and her arc here.
I was going to say that I was going to say that I also like Rock a lot, but I got caught up defending myself.
Well, I just love the alien they have. That's just pretty much this big old rock monster, and she just likes science. I love that.
I really like the big like difference. You know, like the episode where like they very briefly can't use their universal translators.
Yes,
we go from like hearing Rock talking like, you know, a language we can understand, standard, I suppose, and then we go to like how like she actually sounds in her initial like the act, like basically just how she actually sounds. That's how she's been talking the whole time. It's kind of interesting because I feel like everyone else more or less kind of like sounds like the same. They're just saying different stuff. But I feel like she sounds very different.
She sounds a lot kind of like a monster, almost like a rawr, you know. Yeah. And you get where she gets like people thinking of her as like a monster, and then when you actually hear her talk, she's just like
oh
this
goodness.
kid, yeah.
I love what is it like? She's like, this is my favorite patient, Sea Hugger.
Yeah,
she's so cute. She's adorable.
I love that. Yeah, I just love that divergence there. What you're expecting from this, because in the first couple episodes they don't even have the universal translator, so that you're seeing Rock talk speaking the native language. You don't even know if it's a girl. You don't even know the age. This big rock monster. Rah, rah, rah.
I believe Dahl uses he/him for Rock when they initially.
Yes, I'm pretty sure as well. Yeah. And then when the universal translator works, like, holy crap, you're a girl.
I'm also just I know it's a trope, but I love the thing of like the big guys like a gentle giant, you know, or like the big girls like it's endearing when the really big scary thing is like gentle and sweet. It's hard to not kind of get sucked in by that. She's a great character.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know, I feel like it's nice to have like stuff like that going on in stories, because I get the impression every now and then there are too many people to think that they can tell exactly what a person is like based off of vibes.
That's not what I wanted at all.
I would like
Sydney Sweeney.
Okay,
cool. I want to go back.
I mean, it's always good to see Sydney, but you know,
like
yeah, no objection, but that's not what I'm going for. No.
And like I think that is bad. And
you think Sydney Sweeney's bad?
Wait, listen. You guys got into like a big thing in the middle of while I was talking. And so it is your own fault if you don't know what I'm talking about.
Talking about Sydney Sweeney, right?
No.
Oh, God damn it. Sydney Sweeney is my favorite part of Prodigy. Right.
I mean, she's gonna be in Star Trek one of these days. She's in every other franchise.
Oh yeah,
You
there's
know,
Zero
just give it
Angus
time.
Henry.
Oh,
Yeah,
there he is.
I
Yeah.
recognize that face now. Yeah. Yeah.
I thought Jason Mantzoukas always
Yeah,
just looked
but yeah,
kinda
overall,
crazy. Like,
awesome show.
oh, it's a great image, actually.
Mhm.
Oh, that's
He
so
really
beautiful,
leans into
actually.
that when he plays Derek.
Yeah.
We got
Oh, it was a
some.
Nickelodeon show
Yeah,
originally. Oh,
there's
that's
our main
interesting.
crew. Yeah,
Oh,
it was co-produced by Nickelodeon. Yes, so that might be
that's
some of
what
the
it was.
reasons why
Okay.
Paramount isn't keen on holding on to it. But even though Paramount
Oh,
Plus is
shit.
supposed to be the home of all Star Trek, for some reason we can't keep this one. Which, yeah,
I hate this age of
that comes later.
Ugh. I was about to say that. I don't think I saw these clips. Hey, Chakotay,
Yeah.
he's awake.
We're going a bit in the future. Yeah. These are random characters that mean nothing. But yeah, this is such a fun show. And again, like I was saying, like it's a great introduction show. Like if you're a Star Trek fan and you want to indoctrinate your kid into Star Trek and they're younger,
it's a
Prodigy, run.
It's a wholesome show about kids discovering the joys of socialism.
Yes. You know, that was something I actually learned about. So like Gene, I guess it is somewhat related because he brought it up, but like Gene Roddenberry wrote when he was in putting together the original series, it obviously it's kind of progressive, kind of his progressive ideals at the time were really infused in that series. And then, but you know, there were certain elements out like in the 23rd century, it was not talked about a whole lot, but like the Federation had like credits and stuff like that was brought up occasionally, so they had money still. And then in the reason why he sets TNG 100 years in the future is because he wanted to go a bit more leftist, and also because he was largely inspired by a certain manifesto he had read in that time. And so he wanted to push Star Trek's future a bit more in that direction, and that's where they got rid of money and all that. A certain manifesto.
Cool. I
wonder what that was. I could never guess.
Yeah, I could never guess either.
Certain manifesto.
Yeah, a certain manifesto.
Was it the Unabombers manifesto, or I guess that's a little early for that.
Yeah. We love totally, yes. But yeah,
definitely wasn't 20 years early.
Yeah, yeah. The awesome show. I'm trying to think of a.
So good.
I don't know if there's anything else to add, but I love this show. It was awesome.
Well, to keep harping on Zero, I love that they never upgraded the little makeshift body that Zero has. They kind of left it that kind of ramshackle thing where it's like the parts. I mean, they work, but like they're kind of mismatched, and one hand is bigger than the other. Like they didn't. You know, I like that. They let him kind of.
They did do that at the end of the season, though.
Oh. Did I just forget about it or miss it? Oh, I apologize.
They revamp it all. Yeah, it's barely there. Yeah, they revamp her body.
Never mind. I hate it. Worst show ever. I'd burn it to the ground.
Spoiler alert, they're going to revamp her body more in the next season. It's getting revamped a lot. But I'm trying to remember. I don't remember the name of the Medusan episode, the original series. But you have to wear these special glasses, otherwise you'll go insane if you look at the Medusans. But Spock can for a short period because Spock. Yeah, Spock. Yeah. Anything that will just destroy humans, Spock can probably handle it for a little bit. He's cool. Yeah. But yeah, what is the name? I want to say it's the 3rd season episode. That's gonna drive me insane. I'm gonna look it up real fast. We won't leave until we establish the original series episode that establishes Medusans.
While you look that up, Tellurides. I know I've seen them before, but Tellurides. Sorry, where do they? What was their original thing? I know I've seen them. I can't. Was it?
They're fairly prominent in. Well, they're noteworthy in the original series. And then their makeup's really bad, but they're there. Yeah. We saw an episode where Sarek was accused of killing one of them.
Yeah.
But.
Okay.
But then there is but then they also appear again in Enterprise because they're a founding member with much better makeup, by the way. But
yeah, it's like kind of terrifying because like they have like all of like the prosthetic stuff going like outward, and so it creates like this sort of like image where their eyes are just like so far back. And
yeah, there's a skeletal look to their makeup, which is really weird.
I'm not a fan.
Oh, these guys. That's hilarious. I never made the connection. Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
I think
Okay. All right. Yep.
the guy that works on the ship with Janeway, I think looks a bit more like the Tellarites that we see most commonly in the series than Jankum Pog. But
yes,
Oh,
even
you're
then,
right.
he looks
Yeah.
nicer. So
I am. Let me see.
There is no
Is it
Medusa episode.
yeah? Is it season 2? Maybe now it's season. I thought it was season 3, but maybe it's season 2 because now it's season.
I'm literally just gonna look this up.
Yeah. Well, I was 99% sure I'd recognize it the second I saw it. You know, who is that actress?
Oh my God, there's a Telluride from the original series. Oh, that
Season
is
3,
terrifying.
Episode 5 is Their
Oh.
Truth and Beauty.
Oh, is that it? Okay.
Mhm.
That that sounds right. I must just in there. Is there? Goddamn! There's the image. The main image is even Spock wearing the glasses. Yes. That's the Telluride episode. It also guest stars. It's one of 2 appearances of Diane Muldaur in the original series, the actress who plays Pulaski. I think at one point she plays like a medical assistant to McCoy, and then later on in this one, she's I think I want to say she works the Medusan or something like that.
I didn't realize Pulaski showed up in the original series.
Not the same character, but the actress. Yes.
Okay. Trick me like that.
I love it.
I
When
mean,
Star
Majel
Trek does
Barrett
that,
appears
man.
in both as well. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like when people get upset when like an actor returns to play a different character in like the MCU or something. It's like, dude, I live in Star Trek. Actors return to play all types of roles. Have you seen Jeffrey Combs? I mean,
to be fair, the thing with Jeffrey Combs is he's always under like 5 pounds of makeup, so it's like
that's true. Has Jeffrey Combs?
It doesn't really. My only problem would be if it got like confusing. You know.
Now that I think about it, yeah, I think Jeffrey Combs. I think the character that probably wears the least makeup that he plays is probably Wei Un. Try to think. Well, I guess technically it would probably be the computer in Lower Decks, but that's a different thing.
Wait.
Yeah, but yeah, it's awesome.
My favorite example of a star actor getting recast, I think, is oh my God, Worf. Michael, what's his name?
Michael Dorn.
Doesn't matter. Michael Dorn. Yeah, he's in one of the original Star Trek movies as like a lawyer, and I'm watching the movie for the first time. And I'm like, wait, I know that voice. And then he comes back as a completely different Klingon for TNG.
Well, that's right, because I want to say he plays Worf's grandfather in a brief scene in Star Trek 6 as well.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
That's even better then. They're actually related. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And 2, if it means striking at Kurtzman stuff, then I welcome it. Acceptable losses, dude. I don't know if you've really watched new Star Trek, but it's totally decent. As much as I'm not a fan of Alex Kurtzman as a director and a writer, kind of him helming Star Trek, I think he's done a decent job. I like a lot of the stuff he's helmed. It's not perfect, but when has Star Trek ever been perfect? So yeah, I am not for striking it down just because I dislike some stuff Alex Kurtzman's done. Because honestly, I think he's done all right show running this stuff. Well, I don't even know if he's necessarily a showrunner. He's kind of well, you made up your mind.
Well, this right?
For anybody else who agrees with you. Yeah, he picks other people to do the show running, and then like essentially, to my understanding, his job is kind of like he just kind of runs the franchise, but like people will come in with ideas of Star Trek stuff to do, and he'll approve it, and and he lets them kind of do their own thing. He will be involved sometimes, but not heavily. And honestly, it feels like a role that's well suited to him because, like I said, I like a lot of Star Trek stuff. Like Strange New Worlds and Lower Decks are like the best, in my opinion, of the newer Star Trek stuff. But Prodigy is really good too. Prodigy might be my 3rd favorite of the newer Star Trek stuff.
I was thinking this is your time to plug Prodigy again.
Yeah. Prodigy is really good. Yes.
Just like spend basically all of the time for the rest of the day.
If it wasn't for Alex Kurtzman, we wouldn't have some solidly good Star Trek animated series. Because let's face it, the original animated series is very spotty in quality. At least now we have 2 solid Star Trek animated series. Very good
also,
stuff.
Like, I wonder, like, was Kurtzman the one who was kind of, I mean, so like I have a lot of mixed feelings about the Trek reboot films. Like, the first one's okay, the second one's terrible, the third one's pretty dang good.
I love the third one, but yeah.
Yeah, I adore it. I really do.
Yeah.
Like that whole sequence at the end with the song is just one of the coolest scenes in Star Trek. But so are those issues with those films Kurtzman's fault, or were they Orsi's fault, who is not in the picture anymore? Like,
Yeah.
just.
Well, I mean, Robert Orsi did pass away a couple years ago, I want to say, but who knows? Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I feel like
also it's
it's
worth noting. Well, even before he passed away, Kurtzman and Orsi hadn't been working together for quite a few years at that point, and it's possible maybe Kurtzman kind of realized, hey, maybe this directing and writing thing, maybe I shouldn't put myself forefront so much, let other people take the wheel. And honestly, it's produced some great stuff, so I'm kind of okay with him in that role. I can't really complain. I mean. The Mummy was awful. I will always give you Tom Cruise's The Mummy was an atrociously bad movie, but
yeah, that was. I still don't understand what they were trying to do with that.
I know exactly what they were trying to do, and they were failing miserably. Obviously, Tom Cruise wanted his MCU, and they were going to take the monster universe and turn it into a superhero franchise for Tom Cruise, and that was a terrible fucking idea.
Fair.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Prodigy's awesome. And people hate on Discovery. I enjoy Discovery for what it is. I don't think it's perfect, but I think it's solid Star Trek. And then what other stuff is there of the newer stuff? I think, is that it for the newer stuff? Oh, Picard.
Oh yeah,
Picard's not great. Picard.
It's not our favorite.
A big chunk of season 3 is pretty good, and that's about it.
The scene where Brent Spiner hits Picard with a car. I think about this all the time. It's so cool. It's so epic. The way he goes up into the air and it's like, ooh.
See, do I have that loaded in here? That would be
you had a version with there where it was like,
yeah. Do I have that? Let's see if I can load that up real fast. We brought up too much. Do I have it somewhere?
It's so good.
The iconic moment from Star Trek Picard that defines everything. Where's it?
We'll be very disappointed if you don't have it, Bob.
Yeah, I may not have it. I have to see if I can track it
down.
Because I did do a fun edit.
Yeah, you did. Beep, beep.
Oh, you did. I remember. Beep beep.
Beep beep.
Come on.
Star Trek, but also just Prodigy just looks so good. Just look at these images that we just have on the screen here. It's just a very pretty show.
Yeah, I don't have it. If I ever add this to a video, we'll get it in there. But yeah, it is a very pretty looking show. Here, I'm bringing up this one because
that's just gorgeous, man.
Yeah, damn. Oh my god. Yeah. Anything you guys want to talk about before? I think we're good.
Can't wait to watch season 2
before we sign out. Yeah, season 2 should be fun.
Great show about kids discovering the joys of socialism. 10.
Yeah,
I agree.
True. Yeah, awesome show. I'm trying to think. So I will be live on Saturday with my solo stream, and then podcast will be on Monday. You won't be able to join me for the podcast this Monday.
Oh.
I'm gonna talk about Megan 2 without you.
Wow, without me?
Yeah.
But I'm like the Mafregan ambassador.
Yeah, you know all about the Mafregan.
I thank you for making the joke for me. I was going to say, you mean Mafregan too?
Yeah, no, we usually call it You know, funny thing. So I went to on my phone app. I went to looking up Megan on the app on IMDb app, and I typed in Megan. I couldn't get it. I had to type in Mafregan to bring it up.
Oh, that's hilarious! Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Every time I see her in my head, I'm just like, whoa, the Mafregan.
That movie is so much fun. But yes, so is Star Trek Prodigy. If you want to watch season 1, you gotta watch it today, guys. Watch it today. Last chance. And then
blow right through it. It's super fast.
Yeah, and then if you don't watch it today, I guess sail the 7 seas for it. I don't know what else to recommend. It's yeah.
They'd be able to still watch. Give me a moment. There's like 20 episodes, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then free episodes be an hour because they're around 20 minutes. I don't think they'd be able to do it.
It might be close.
As much as you can.
Yeah, you might be able to spam through it really fast.
It would be like
And you might, it might be up there until it reaches midnight Pacific time, which would give them 3 more hours.
Yeah, that it would be like over 5 hours.
Mm-hmm. You might be able to do it. Watch it now. Watch it now.
1.5 speed. 1.5 speed.
Go on warp 10 and become a salamander.
Yeah, it's worth it. You'll watch all this Prodigy.
Watch it like really fast. Watch it, but 2 times speed.
Oh,
you won't understand what's happening.
Yeah, Grand Theft Autobot here. Strange New Worlds is good. Strange New Worlds is fantastic. Yeah.
I think the thing about a lot of newer Star Trek shows is that I feel like, at least for me, they just don't really like quite manage to capture like the charm of some of the older ones. Is I feel like Strange New Worlds is one of like the ones that I feel like is kind of like the closest to having sort of that same charm.
I do feel like part of the issue is I want there to be 20 episode season. And I guess Prodigy is doing that, but like Prodigy does the arcs. I want there to be 20 episodes where most of those are just kind of filler. Like you can skip this episode and go to the next one; it won't matter. But there could be some cool shit happening this episode.
People have convinced themselves that filler is bad.
Yeah, and it's like
as such they're missing the greatness of life.
I mean, if we're talking about like filler being bad, then like most of TNG and most of the original series are bad because most of those episodes are completely skippable. You could jump around those series and just watch random episodes.
That's like what we do.
True.
Constantly.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yes, and it's fun. And it's fun partially because of that, because you can just be like, yeah, we'll watch this now. We'll watch this now. You know, fill in the story as we go. Voyager has that to a degree, although I do feel like Voyager shouldn't have that as much as it does, because that storyline should be more serialized. But yeah, Prodigy is awesome. Check it out. And then I think that's it. I think that's it. Should we sign out? Let's do this in level of importance, guys.
God, I'm important. Hi, I'm Lindsay. My 2 cents of nonsense content. Love you. Bye.
Am I still here? Are we here?
No.
Okay, we're not here.
You could like do the tiny voice.
Oh yeah.
Are we here?
I have something very important to say. Oh my god.
Should not have been that funny.
But yeah, Star Trek was originally supposed to be Dragnet in space. To a degree, sure. I mean, it was supposed to be Gene Roddenberry doing his kind of his idealized future. But yeah, I mean, the point was not so much Dragnet in space, but like Western in space was always the point, which kind of the space Western thing has become a trope at this point. Are you just being funny now? The cases of the Federation? No. Okay, you're just having fun. But yeah, guys, like, subscribe. My 2 cents of nonsense over here joins us all the time. I don't think we have a new one planned. Maybe we'll just do Prodigy season 2 at some point, but we will be doing this again at some point in the future. Like and subscribe, party on, and be excellent to each other.